Mikey Williams. Williams was once considered one of the most electrifying high school prospects in the country. Bursting onto the national radar as a freshman at San Ysidro High School in California, he averaged nearly 30 points per game and racked up highlight reel dunks, deep three-pointers, and viral plays that made him a social media sensation. By 2020, he had over 2 million Instagram followers and was being hailed as the future of basketball. His early hype wasn't unwarranted. Williams had legitimate scoring ability, elite athleticism, and confidence that matched his explosive game. He received scholarship offers from Arizona, USC, Kansas, Memphis, and even historically black colleges and universities, HBCUs, as early as 14 years old. At the time, he was ranked top 5 in the class of 2023 by nearly every major scouting outlet. However, as time passed, Williams' on-court development didn't keep pace with his off-court fame. By his senior year, his national ranking had dropped significantly. Scouts began questioning his consistency, decision-making, and effort on defense. While he remained a strong scorer, his game didn't evolve much in terms of playmaking, discipline, or adapting to higher-level competition. Then, the situation unraveled further. In April 2023, Williams was arrested in connection with a shooting near his San Diego home. He faced multiple felony gun charges, which cast major doubts on his basketball future. The University of Memphis, where he had committed, distanced itself, and though he remained enrolled for some time, he was ultimately removed from the team and never suited up for the Tigers. Despite having name recognition, NIL opportunities, and elite exposure, Mikey Williams' path from Prodigy to pro came to a halt due to both stagnation in development and serious legal troubles. Julian Newman. Julian was one of the most polarizing basketball prospects of the YouTube era. He first gained national attention in middle school while playing varsity basketball at Downey Christian School in Orlando, Florida. Standing at just 4'5" at the time, Newman's flashy dribbling, deep three-pointers, and outrageous confidence made him an online sensation. Highlight reels of him crossing defenders and pulling up from near half-court racked up millions of views. He was dubbed a child prodigy by some media outlets and was even featured in national commercials. Newman's father, who coached his high school team, played a central role in his rise. The system was built entirely around Julian. He was allowed to take high volumes of shots, make all the offensive decisions, and rarely left the court. The stats he posted were eye-popping. Over 3,800 career points, double-digit assists, and viral plays night after night. But scouts and analysts questioned how real his competition was and whether his skills would translate to higher levels of basketball. As Julian transitioned into high school and beyond, those concerns became reality. Despite his popularity, he never received legitimate Division I scholarship offers. Standing just 5'7" and lacking elite athleticism or defense, he struggled against tougher competition. Attempts to showcase his talent through prep schools, AAU tournaments, and international camps didn't lead to significant recruiting interest. In 2020, Newman announced he would skip college and play professionally overseas. But those plans never materialized into a notable career. Despite training stints and exhibition games, there has been no meaningful professional resume. He has since shifted focus toward promoting his brand, Prodigy, and remaining active on social media platforms. Isaiah "Jellyfam" Washington. Washington was more than just a high school standout. He was a cultural movement. Known as the co-founder and face of the Jellyfam brand, Washington helped popularize a flashy style of finger roll layups, the jelly that took over youth basketball social media in the mid-2010s. With viral clips and a heavy online presence, he wasn't just a player, he was a brand ambassador for a new generation of hoops culture. Washington starred at St. Raymond High School in the Bronx and was named New York Mr. Basketball in 2017. Ranked as a top 75 recruit nationally, he committed to the University of Minnesota, where fans and media alike hoped his flair would translate into a dominant college career. But the reality didn't match the hype. As a freshman, Washington struggled with efficiency, shooting just 36% from the field and 24% from three. Turnovers were frequent, and his shot selection became a liability in Big Ten play. Despite flashes of brilliance, he never found consistency, and by his sophomore year, his minutes and production declined even further. In 2019, he transferred to Iona College, hoping a return to New York would revive his career. Although he had moments of improvement under head coach Tim Cluess, Injuries and system fit limited his impact. He then transferred again, this time to Long Beach State, marking his third program in 4 years. The instability made it nearly impossible to build momentum or impress scouts consistently. Off the court, Jellyfam remained a recognizable brand, but on the court, Washington's development plateaued. Once considered a potential NBA-level talent and a pioneer for the social media era of basketball, he went undrafted and has bounced around in smaller professional circuits with no sign of breaking through to the NBA. Lenny Cook. In the early 2000s, Lenny Cook was projected to be the next big NBA star. A 6'6" shooting guard with elite athleticism, scoring ability, and a street ball edge, he was the #1 ranked high school player in the country at one point, ahead of LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, and Amari Stoudemire. Cook dominated AAU circuits and high school tournaments, averaging over 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists during his peak. Scouts saw him as a can't-miss prospect. But Cook's downfall was rooted in poor decisions and a lack of structure. He bounced between high schools in different states, which disrupted his academic eligibility. Instead of playing at a prestigious college program, Cook declared for the 2002 NBA draft straight out of high school, a move that proved costly. At the NBA Draft Combine, his lack of conditioning and polish became glaring. He wasn't selected in either round of the draft. Without a college program to fall back on, Cook tried to revive his career through the minor leagues and overseas, but he never made an NBA roster. His style of play didn't evolve, and he lacked the discipline needed to compete at a pro level long term. Meanwhile, the players once ranked below him, like LeBron and Melo, were making history in the NBA. Lenny Cook, however, became the subject of documentaries, cautionary tales, and interviews about wasted potential. In 2013, a documentary titled Lenny Cook by the Safdie brothers highlighted his meteoric rise and tragic fall, underscoring how fame without guidance can derail even the most talented prospects. Emoni Bates. Bates was once labeled the next Kevin Durant, a generational talent who graced the cover of Sports Illustrated at just 15 years old. As a high school freshman, he averaged 29 points and 10 rebounds per game, winning the Gatorade National Player of the Year, the first sophomore to ever do it. His scoring instincts, smooth shooting stroke, and tall, wiry frame made scouts and media rush to crown him as a future NBA superstar. Some even said he would have been the #1 pick had he been eligible for the draft at 16. But after peaking early, his path quickly unraveled. Bates reclassified to graduate early and enrolled at the University of Memphis in 2021. The move was supposed to fast-track his development, but it exposed how underdeveloped his game really was. He struggled with physicality, shot selection, and defensive consistency. Injuries and chemistry issues plagued his freshman year, and after a disappointing season, he transferred to Eastern Michigan, a far cry from the national spotlight he once occupied. At Eastern Michigan, Bates put up solid individual stats, averaging around 19 points per game. But he did so on poor efficiency, and his team finished with a losing record. Scouts remained skeptical about his decision-making, lack of playmaking, and off-ball effort. Things worsened in September 2022 when Bates was arrested on gun charges after a traffic stop. Although the charges were later dropped through a plea deal, the incident raised red flags about his maturity and decision-making. Despite the setbacks, Bates entered the 2023 NBA Draft. Once thought to be a future lottery pick, he slipped all the way to the second round, where the Cleveland Cavaliers selected him 49th overall. Though he showed glimpses of shot-making ability in Summer League and the G League, questions remain about whether he'll ever become a rotational NBA player. Sharife Cooper. Cooper was a 5-star recruit and one of the most electrifying point guards in the 2020 high school class. Standing just 6 foot, but with elite quickness, tight handles, and natural playmaking instincts, Cooper was a walking double-double in points and assists. He dominated Georgia's high school scene and was ranked among the top 20 players in the nation. His flashy style of play, deep passing range, and fearless drives made him a must-watch prospect, drawing comparisons to NBA guards like Trae Young. He committed to Auburn University, but his college career started off rocky. Due to eligibility concerns with the NCAA surrounding his relationship with an agent, Cooper was forced to sit out the first 12 games of the 2020-21 season. When he was finally cleared, he put up impressive individual numbers. averaging 20.2 points and 8.1 assists in just 12 games. But he struggled with efficiency, shooting just 39% from the field and 22% from three. While the playmaking was elite, questions surfaced about his size, defense, and ability to shoot at the NBA level. Cooper declared for the 2021 NBA draft after just one season. Despite his pedigree and hype, he slid to the second round, being selected 48th overall by the Atlanta Hawks. In Summer League, he flashed potential but also showed the same concerns. Poor outside shooting, turnovers under pressure, and defensive limitations due to his frame. He spent most of his rookie season in the G League with the College Park Skyhawks, where he showed some development but didn't crack the NBA rotation. The following offseason, the Hawks waived him. Cooper briefly joined the Cleveland Cavaliers on a two-way deal but never gained significant playing time or traction within the organization. As of now, Cooper remains a G League talent with NBA upside, but his size, inconsistent jumper, and defensive limitations continue to keep him on the fringe. Kyrie Walker. Walker was once viewed as one of the most dominant physical specimens in high school basketball. A 6'6", 220-pound guard-forward hybrid, he had the size of a pro and the swagger to match. As a freshman at Moreau Catholic High School in California, he averaged nearly 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists, and was quickly ranked a top 5 national prospect in the class of 2020. His highlight tapes went viral for his brute strength, above-the-rim finishes, and trash-talking intensity. Scouts praised him as a positionless playmaker who could bully smaller guards and overpower wings. But Walker's trajectory soon became unstable. He transferred schools multiple times and eventually left Hillcrest Prep to train independently. That meant removing himself from traditional high school competition and organized national circuits. A move that limited his exposure to scouts and made it harder to evaluate his development. Meanwhile, other players in his class, like Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green, continued rising through elite prep systems and Team USA programs. Walker skipped college and declared for the 2021 NBA draft after training privately for over a year. Without a recent competitive resume, and with scouts unsure about his fit, shooting consistency, and off-ball skill set, he went undrafted. Despite his physical gifts and strong frame, teams questioned his decision-making, maturity, and ability to adapt to a structured system. He eventually joined the Capital City Go-Go, the G League affiliate of the Washington Wizards, and showed flashes of promise. Walker averaged around 8 points per game but struggled with efficiency and consistency. While he proved he could compete athletically, he didn't stand out enough to earn a call-up or guaranteed deal. Mac McClung. McClung exploded onto the basketball scene as a viral high school sensation. With a 40-plus-inch vertical leap and mixtapes filled with gravity-defying dunks, the 6'2" guard from Gate City, Virginia, shattered stereotypes about undersized players. He broke Allen Iverson's Virginia State scoring record and racked up millions of online views with slam dunks, usually reserved for NBA wings. His popularity made him a must-watch, but also created expectations he struggled to meet at higher levels of the game. McClung committed to Georgetown, where he showed promise as a scorer but struggled with efficiency, defense, and consistency. After 2 seasons, he transferred to Texas Tech, where he averaged 15.5 points per game, but again shot under 35% from 3 and posted low assist numbers for a guard. Scouts were intrigued by his athleticism, but raised concerns about his size for a combo guard, tunnel vision on offense, and inability to defend at the NBA level. Despite declaring for the 2021 NBA draft, McClung went undrafted. He signed Summer League deals and bounced between G League teams like the South Bay Lakers and Delaware Bluecoats. Though he consistently put up strong numbers in the G League, including a 19-point average and a G League Rookie of the Year award, his NBA opportunities remained limited to short stints and two-way contracts with teams like the Bulls, Lakers, and 76ers. In 2023, McClung's career reached a new kind of spotlight, the NBA Slam Dunk Contest. He became the first G League player to ever compete, and he didn't just compete, he dominated. McClung won the contest with perfect scores and jaw-dropping dunks that reignited his name in the national conversation. And in 2025, he made history, becoming the first person to ever win 3 conservative slam dunk contests in a row. Yet despite the buzz, it didn't translate into a long-term NBA contract. As of now, McClung remains a G League standout and a fan favorite for his underdog persona and athletic highlight reels. Used not as an NBA player, but as a marketing talent to help the NBA ratings during All-Star Weekend. Sebastian Telfair. Telfair was one of the most hyped high school point guards of his generation. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, he was a basketball prodigy from the famed Coney Island pipeline that also produced his cousin, NBA star Stephon Marbury. Telfair made national headlines at Lincoln High School, where he became a scoring and assist machine. He was featured on the cover of Slam magazine and ESPN documentaries before even graduating. By the time he was a senior, he had scored over 2,700 career points and was one of the most talked about prep stars in the country. Telfair initially committed to play college basketball at Louisville, but after a strong senior season and with the recent success of LeBron James going straight from high school to the pros, he decided to enter the 2004 NBA Draft. The Portland Trail Blazers selected him 13th overall, ahead of players like Al Jefferson and Josh Smith. Expectations were sky high, but Telfair's NBA career never lived up to the hype. He struggled with size, standing just 6 foot tall, inconsistent shooting, and poor decision-making. In his rookie season, he averaged just 6.8 points and 3.3 assists. While he showed flashes of playmaking ability, he lacked the control and efficiency to run an NBA offense full-time. He became a journeyman quickly, bouncing between teams like the Celtics, Timberwolves, Clippers, Suns, and Raptors, often landing backup roles and never establishing himself as a long-term solution. Over his 10-year NBA career, he averaged 7.4 points and 3.5 assists per game. He was never able to develop a consistent three-point shot or elevate his game defensively, two things that are non-negotiable for modern point guards. By the mid-2010s, Telfair was out of the league. His post-NBA life took a darker turn. In 2017, Telfair was arrested in Brooklyn on gun possession charges after police found multiple loaded firearms in his car. He was later convicted and in 2019 was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison. The fall from national prodigy to prison inmate was as dramatic as it gets. Trevon Duval. Trevon Duval was once considered the most dynamic point guard in his high school class. With elite quickness, court vision, and explosive athleticism, he was the consensus #1 point guard in the class of 2017 and a top 5 overall recruit. Duval was a highlight machine, a 6'2" floor general who could dunk in traffic, blow by defenders, and deliver flashy assists with ease. On the AAU circuit and prep hoop scene, he looked like a future NBA star. He committed to Duke University, a powerhouse program that was stacked with future NBA talent, including Marvin Bagley III, Wendell Carter Jr., and Gary Trent Jr. Expectations were high, but Duval's one-and-done season didn't go as planned. Despite starting all 37 games for Duke in 2017-18, Duval's weaknesses began to show. He shot just 29% from 3 and 59% from the free throw line. His decision-making was inconsistent, and he didn't display the floor leadership or defensive awareness that NBA scouts expect from elite point guards. In an era shifting towards spacing and shooting, Duval's lack of a jump shot became a glaring red flag. After his freshman year, Duval declared for the 2018 NBA Draft, a decision that proved premature. He went undrafted, making him the first one-and-done player in Duke history to not be selected. He joined the Houston Rockets for Summer League and later had short stints with the Milwaukee Bucks on a two-way contract, but he never earned consistent playing time or a stable role. Since then, Duval has bounced between the NBA G League, short overseas contracts, and summer leagues, but has never returned to the NBA. The raw athleticism and flashy handles were never molded into a complete, efficient point guard package.